The psychology of individuals who hate small talk. You're in an elevator. Someone walks in and says, "Working hard or hardly working?" And suddenly, you'd rather leap out the window. Or you're at a party. Someone brings up the weather, and you feel your soul physically leave your body. For some people, small talk is mildly irritating, but for others, it's actual torture. But here's the real question. Why do some people physically recoil from casual conversation while others thrive on it? Stay with me because the answer reveals far more about human psychology than you'd expect. First group. Their brain is literally wired to reject it. Neuroscientists have found that some people have a high need for cognition, meaning their brain craves depth, complexity, and substance. When you ask them, "How was your weekend?" their brain doesn't register a question, it receives nothing. Absolutely zero substance. Studies show these people get less dopamine from surface-level chatter. Their brain is starving while you're handing out empty plates. But here's the surprising twist. Put them in a conversation about philosophy, ideas, existential dread, anything real. They completely transform. They literally light up. They're not actually antisocial. They're simply allergic to conversations that lead nowhere. They'd rather sit in silence than fake interest in your commute. Second group, completely different reason. For them, small talk isn't just shallow, it's a performance, and they're exhausted by it. Picture this scenario. You're talking about the weekend. Simple, right? But inside their head, am I smiling too much? Did I just say something strange? Are they silently judging my answer? Should I ask a follow-up question now or wait? Psychologists refer to this as cognitive load. While you glide through small talk, they're playing mental chess, dissecting every word, every facial expression, every pause. And here's the really brutal part. Because they're so focused on performing, they can't actually be present. So the conversation feels fake, disconnected, like they're watching themselves from outside their own body. Over time, their brain links small talk with stress, so they simply stop, not because they hate people, because the cost is just too high. Third group, and this one is wild. They've discovered something most people never will, that small talk is essentially a trap. Just think about it. Someone says, "How are you?" You say, "Good, thanks," even if you're falling apart inside. Someone inquires about your weekend. You give the rehearsed answer and move on. We've been conditioned since childhood to follow these scripts. And yes, they're polite. They smooth things over. But they also keep you on the surface forever. You never truly connect. You never go deeper. For people who value authenticity, small talk doesn't just feel dull. It feels like dishonesty. Every hollow question, every forced smile, it's a tiny betrayal of who they truly are. Psychologists describe this as existential authenticity, and for these people, small talk isn't a social lubricant, it's more like a cage. But wait, here's the part nobody ever talks about. People who hate small talk share one unusual trait. They're comfortable with silence, genuinely at ease with it. Most people panic the moment conversation stops. They scramble for something, anything to fill the void. But for these people, silence doesn't frighten them because they've figured out that silence is often more honest than small talk. It says, "I don't need to perform for you. I'm okay just existing here." And that's rare. Most people can't handle 30 seconds of quiet without freaking out. Now, about the stereotype. People assume that if you hate small talk, you think you're too smart for everyone else, too deep, too intellectual. And yes, some people are like that. But for most, it's not arrogance. It's the opposite. It's pure vulnerability. Because small talk feels safe. Nobody gets hurt talking about the weather. But real conversation, that's dangerous. You expose yourself. You risk being misunderstood, criticized, rejected. So when someone skips the script and dives straight into depth, they're not being superior. They're being courageous. They're choosing to risk real connection instead of hiding behind politeness. And here's the real kicker. Hating small talk doesn't mean hating other people. Research shows these people often have fewer friends, but their friendships run far deeper. They'd rather have 2 people who truly know their soul than 20 people who only know their weekend plans. For them, small talk doesn't build connection, it actively prevents it. Every minute spent on the surface is a minute not going deeper. So what does all of this mean? If you hate small talk, you are not broken. Your brain might crave meaning, or you're exhausted from performing, or you've seen through the social script and simply can't unsee it. You're not cold, you're just done with shallow. And if someone seems uncomfortable in casual conversation, don't automatically assume they're rude. Maybe they're simply waiting for something real. The real question is, which one are you? And can you truly handle the answer? If this changed the way you see social interaction, hit subscribe. We explore psychology that genuinely explains who you are.